What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Good afternoon, 12:35. We've had to go live again. Paul Pogba has left Manchester United. Just as I was talking this morning, actually, a little bit about him. As a few of you lot put in the comments as well, when I was saying I think I overrated him. It's been very underwhelming. And now it's time to do that video properly because Paul Pogba has left Manchester United after an official send-off, an official post from Manchester United. And to be honest, we knew this was coming. This is not a surprise. A lot of people are like, thank God, it's time to move on. This is what we had to do. It had to get done. And a lot of people have sort of been like, we haven't got the best out of him. He hasn't got the best out of himself. And it's time to conclude the Paul Pogba situation. It's time to, move on from it. That's what it is. Look, Timbo says, don't care. Finally, says Sashi. Thank God, one less snake, says Victor. I'd love it if the club does a major clear out after following Pogba's departure, says Red Devil. Chris says De Gea needs to go too. Don't know how De Gea got brought into this. Calzo says good riddance. And Sharandi says thank good. Thank good. Or thank God. I mean, a lot of everyone it's quite negative in the comments, to be fair. Darius says good luck to him as well. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you lot are new to the channel, and get involved. Let us know what Paul Pogba means to you at Manchester United. What's his legacy? What's his legacy when Paul Pogba looks back at this? When we look back at this as Manchester United fans? Man United have put out a thing with Paul Pogba basically saying about thanks for the good memories, and it's got the highlight of him scoring a goal, that deflected goal in the Europa League final. And look, for me, Pogba's been, obviously, it's an understatement to say he's been underwhelming. He's had a couple of good seasons where he's done okay. But other than that, it's been largely disappointing. I can't lie about that. You can't lie about that. I think if you do, then you're basically lying to yourself. I think he's been poor. I do. I think there's a reason why. Let me just sort this out. There's reasons why it isn't all just Paul Pogba. It isn't. I can accept that. It ain't just all Paul Pogba. But if I look at how he's conducted himself on the pitch, and if he was being honest with himself, it's not been good. And Paul Pogba, let's rate Paul Pogba's time at Man United. Let's rate his time at Man United out of 10. I'll let you lot do it in the comments. Out of 10, what would you rate Pogba's time at Manchester United overall? What is it? 6 years. I'm gonna say 5, because he did win 2 trophies. Compared to what we thought we was gonna get, you could say it's very, very underwhelming. But I don't think you can go less than a 5 because he's won 2 trophies, and the team has been an absolute shambles pretty much ever since he got here. There's loads going on. I think a 5 is a fair reflection. The lowest I would go to is a 4. A lot of people saying 4, 5. No, not a 5, no way. 6.5 or 7. Flex, come on, it's at least a 6. Wooman is a 4. Flex, I just don't know. All comments are flying. And Flex, I just don't want players who do not want to be here at United, man, please. I agree with that. Dave Robbo says a 4. Edwin says a 5. 4 for me. 2, mate. 3 to be fair. It is mixed. There's a lot of 4s flying about. A lot of 4s more than 5s. I mean, everyone have your opinion, have your say. And we've got a poll up there. Was Pogba's time at Man United underwhelming? And I think that's going to be a comprehensive. That's got to be at least 90. If I don't see 95%, there you go, straight away, 93% yes. But yeah, we can clearly see it's unanimous that it's been shit. Do you know what I mean? It's unanimous that it's been poor. And Paul Pogba's time here, look, I think to when we signed him, what was the best part of, 85 million, something like that, 90 million at the time, I can't even remember. Pog back, dancing with Stormzy, 2016, it was all going to go so well. We get an EFL Cup, we get a Europa League, and you're waiting for us to kick on, and you're waiting for Paul Pogba to kick on. But all it's ever been with Paul Pogba is, when's the key going to arrive to unlock him? He needs this to unlock him. He needs that to unlock him. I remember the season in, was it 16-17 or was it 17-18? I think it was 17-18. I would argue was probably his best season where he was good. Then he had that really good run in Ollie's interim period as well. which he did okay, and then the injuries started, and then it just went downhill from there. So there hasn't really been much to shout about with Paul Pogba. There's been a few moments. One that sticks out to mind, obviously, the comeback against Manchester City, the goal in the Europa League final. I'm trying to think of more. What else? When has Pogba been, absolutely brilliant? He scored some decent goals along the time. He did finish as our top assister and top scorer, I think, at the end of that 17-18 season. And that was the one, ironically, where he got the most stick, where that fan was giving it to him and going mad at him. And I didn't agree with that. 16-17 season, yeah, as well, that people were saying was a good one. Obviously, don't forget the haircut, says Kevon Bridge. And I think with Paul Pogba has just been so much, not just hype, because that's come from us fans, and rightly so, because of how well he was tipped to come here. But with Paul Pogba, there's been so much just circus. Some that I think he could have dealt with better, and some that just came with him because he's Paul Pogba. You look at all the stuff with, obviously he's passed away now, God rest his soul, Mino Raiola. All the stuff that used to go on with Raiola wasn't great, and Pogba would never come out and kind of quash it. I remember being on tour in 2019 when we was in Shanghai. He done an interview after he'd done an Adidas event saying, I'm ready for a new challenge. And the writing was on the wall from then. I don't think he ever truly really recovered from there. CJ Ryuk says, Mr. World Class on his day is gone. Wish him well. I think, do you know what? That's a great way of putting it, CJ. I said it earlier, and that's the thing. If we're honest, Pogba is Mr. World Class on his day. I mean, look, people say there's Pogba FC and Pogba fanboys and people who never want to speak ill of Pogba. I'm not one of them. I'm someone who just calls it straight down the middle and says what it is and says what it isn't. Sometimes he's been treated unfairly. Sometimes it's cultural differences and people don't understand that, i.e. when he's dancing in videos or when he's going off to family and dancing at weddings and expressing himself and doing videos and wearing different clothes. And they're cultural things where sometimes people don't understand Paul Pogba. No problem with that whatsoever. That didn't annoy me that he does that. Haircuts and stuff like that, don't care. That's how we as a culture express ourselves. The other side of it is continuously got noises out of his camp, his brother's talking, he's not shutting it down, he wants a new challenge, not really committed. And then if you look at his personal performances, everyone's been failing at Manchester United for the last 5 or 6 years, but does Pogba do enough in games? Does he have that attention to detail? Does he get about the pitch? Does he bust a gut? Is he impacting games on a consistent basis? And the answer is no to all of them questions. Scholes says Pogba has to take some blame. I agree, that's what I was just touching on. But at some point, we need to think about why everyone has failed at Man United. 100% agree with that. All managers and most players have failed. That is not normal. Watch him go on and succeed. That's a great super chat, Scholes Music. That's a really good super chat because this is about balance. I do think at times it's been too heavily on one side saying Pogba's a disgrace, he's a virus, he's vermin, he's all of this. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that one bit. I don't believe he's a bad egg. I don't believe that he's the leaks in the dressing room and he's a virus. I just believe that Manchester United have failed. Like they've failed a lot of players, but Pogba's also failed himself. Like you said, he's got to take a look at himself as to why he couldn't get the best out of himself. It was always Mr. World Class on his day, like someone said there. But we do need to look deeper into why everyone comes to Manchester United and fails. That's nothing new. You look at the batch of players that we've got now, poor, failing. Look at the money we've spent. Players are failing, and it isn't just Paul Pogba. Do you know what I'm saying? So I 100% agree with that. Super chat here from Imran. Imran says, in the last decade, which outfield players, not Sir Alex players, has been better than Pogba and helped United win trophies? That's the real problem. Agreed. And that's why I think it's unfair to give Pogba like a 2 and a 1 and 3 and stuff like that. Because nobody in the time that Pogba's even been bought, and anyone post Sir Alex, has been great. If you was to rate our signings, and let's just be honest here, and this is being fair to Paul Pogba, if you was to rate our signings post Sir Alex Ferguson, so that's the last 10 years, right? How many of them could you give over a 5? How many? Lukaku, you're going to say 5. Zlatan, fair play. You'd probably give Zlatan a 6 or a 7, all right? Because he was an older player, but still scored goals and won, and then he dipped, but a short-term fix. Herrera, you could probably give him a 6 or a 7. Other than that, Fellaini, Mata, Matic, Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin, Depay. like Di Maria, Falcao. I'm missing probably loads. Dan James, Harry Maguire now, Wan-Bissaka now. Like, yeah, okay, Bruno you could put in the 7 so far. Like, there's a whole load of players that all the signings fail, and no one's been above a 5. So I do agree. Daley Blind, Darmian. Blind, you could argue, was about a 6, probably should have stayed longer. But did he light it up? Probably not. Darmian, average 5. Smalling was already there. Ashley Young was already there. But you can get my point. Ray Carl says, it was his non-commitment that ended it for me. I wanted what we saw at France, but at United, not so. Yeah, I agree with that, Ray. When you knew that he just didn't want to be here and the writing was on the wall, you could see where it was coming from. Jay says, numbers average at Juve, beat them at United and is still poor. France, he does well, but who wouldn't with that team? Please tell me why people are still rating him as world class. He's done nothing, says Jay. Yeah, look, the thing about Pogba going on to do well, Sanchez, exactly, 0. Jesus. Alexis Sanchez, oh my God. But yeah, exactly. When you think of Paul Pogba going on to be and do well at Juve, he probably will. He'd do all right. Back in his comfort zone, they might build a team, and Juve ain't great. Let's have it right. Juve ain't the kings of Italy anymore. It was Inter Milan for a bit, and now it's AC Milan because they just won the league. Inter got it all to do. Juve got it all to do to get back on top. They ain't won the league for a few years. Do you know what I'm saying? So they're in the mud as well. So Pogba going back there, think about this as Paul Pogba's career, right? Now, obviously on a personal, he'll be happy because he's won things in Italy, came to Manchester United, didn't go well, but he's won a couple of trophies and he's won the World Cup. He's killed it in the national level. But he's played in the golden era of French football as well. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he plays well for them. But if he was to look at his club career, Man United youth, Juventus, United, Juventus, I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like I would have liked to have seen Pogba go Real Madrid or somewhere like that's challenging for the leagues, challenging for the Champions League. Juventus ain't going to win the Champions League anytime soon, and see him go up that level. But I just feel a little bit underwhelmed. And who am I? Listen, Paul Pogba has got a fat trophy cabinet. You know what I mean? Paul Pogba's got medals, so my opinion don't matter to him. That's cool. I'm just saying personally as a fan, I would have liked to have seen that like go a little bit further, man. Go a little bit further. Like, don't go back to Juve and just be in your comfort zone. Can I see you go up? And Chris says, and that says there, yeah, that is true. Flex, those clubs didn't want him, and that's true. What does that say though? The fact that Real Madrid are looking at the younger Tchouaméni and they've got Camavinga. Do you know what I mean? They don't want Paul Pogba. They missed out on Mbappe. They're not trying to get Paul Pogba on a free. What does that say? PSG, would they probably come in from? Because it's not a done deal that he's gone for Juve. We just know that they're the ones pushing the most. So we'll have to wait and see. Kaezi94 says, I can only name one game Pogba has really stood out for me, and that was against City. Apart from that, he was average for us. And that's, I think, the big problem here. I'm looking back at 6 years of Paul Pogba. Right. And it isn't just labelled at him, because if I look back at other players, it'll be the same thing, which falls into it. But Pogba, I think, like I said earlier in the show, I don't think anyone's really come to Manchester United with that level of expectancy because of how good they are or they're supposed to be. Ronaldo don't count because he's the GOAT. Zlatan came and delivered, to be fair to him. Alexis Sanchez was highly tipped, to be fair. You could say that was definitely a bigger flop than Pogba, 100%. But with Pogba being the 90 million, I mean, to be fair, Lukaku came 75 million. He was tipped. But I don't know. Yeah, I feel like he came with a lot of expectancy. Deluded Talk says, golden era of France with Pavard, Lloris and Umtiti. Yeah, but you're missing out all the players that are actually good. You got Camavinga in the under 21s now. Do you know what I mean? Tchouaméni, just chilling. Kante, Pogba. List goes on. Do you know what I'm saying? Rabiot. So it is a bit of a golden era of France. Mbappe, Griezmann, Coman. List goes on. They are stacked. But I get it. Obviously, the real golden age was fucking hell, Jesus, when they've obviously got Henry, Vieira, Zidane, like the Thuram. Like, it can go on. I get it. But yeah, they. What I'm saying is that they got a lot of good players, France, right now. But back to Paul Pogba. Yeah, I mean, everyone's basically saying, yeah, and Kunku as well. Everyone's saying that good riddance and that. My thing isn't good riddance, but mine is goodbye, good luck. That's actually my thing. Goodbye, good luck. I wish him well. I really wish that it could have ended differently, and I really wish you could have looked back and seen something way better than what we've seen. But it wasn't to be, and for many reasons, it's been the best thing for Pogba to leave the football club for a long time. I don't think he was ever gonna endear himself back to the fans. Show Raman, I said, Mr. Super Chat, I'm gonna get to that. Red Devil says Pogba at Man United has been shit. No wonder there's no big clubs after him, even on a free, and he'll 100% get less money than at Man United. Blame himself. He will get less money than at United, yeah, 100%. Someone said, Show said, I missed his Super Chat. Let me make sure. Put some respect on the people, them super chats. There you go. Show Ramen, big up yourself, says, pisses me off the amount of heartbreak from our fan base because of him leaving. All our fans care about is just cool haircuts and TikToks. Fix up. And Shola, I've read that one. Imran, I've read that one. And I've read all your super chats now. Big up. I will get your super chats in if you send them in as well, guys, and get involved in the comments. Smash a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, I've seen quite mixed reviews on, I say reviews, quite mixed comments and opinion online. I've seen some people say, it didn't work out, love you Pogba and all of this stuff. I've seen other people say good riddance, see you later, tata, tara, tatty bye mate, get out. And I'm somewhere in the middle of that. I think it's important to say bye. I think it's important for him to leave. I do think it's important for him to leave. And if you think about this, right? Think about this. Paul Pogba is leaving, and we're not saying, oh my God, how are we going to replace Paul Pogba? What are we going to do? We've just lost X amount of creativity. We've just lost X amount of goals. We've just lost X amount of ability. There isn't that feeling. The feeling is, thank God that had to happen. And I think that is indicative of his state. A player of Paul Pogba's quality leaving the football club, what we should be saying is, oh my days, that's a big hole in the midfield. But he hasn't even put an imprint in the midfield of McTominay and Fred, right? And Matic, let's say, to the point where he's leaving and we're not like, shit, what are we going to do? We're just like, yeah, he needs to leave like Matic does, like Mata does, like McTominay and Fred aren't good enough. He's almost getting coupled into that. And I'm not saying he's not a better player than them, but I'm saying his impact on a consistent basis hasn't been good. It hasn't. And G-Man says it here, for us to rebuild, Pogba and others need to move on. Exactly. Kevin Bridge says, yeah, we feel relieved. Chris says, Flex PP needs some TLC after being United flop. He does need to rebuild himself. He needs to go and feel confident. He needs to go enjoy his football again. And I have no doubt that Paul Pogba will feel good again, where he's loved and the fans want him back at Juve and accept him back. And if it is Juve, which it looks like it is, of course he will be happy. Aaron Walker says 4 out of 10, but clearly not all his own doing. Awful team to be playing in. And Dynamo21 says Pogba needs fast players in front of him like Rashford or Mbappe. Well, he had Rashford for the whole time. And Football Matt says the end of Pogba. And Amit says, well, one in Dubai is much useless than 2 on the field, innit? Yeah, exactly. And Satjay says he is Mr. Inconsistent and good that he's gone, says MM. A lot of people are saying they want to move on to the likes of Jesse Lingard now, which that's going to get confirmed. Let me just read out the official club statement as well to see how Manchester United, what they had to say about him. The club can announce that Paul Pogba will leave Manchester United at the end of June upon the expiry of his contract. The Frenchman has enjoyed a long association with United, having joined the club's academy from Le Havre, have I said that right, at the age of just 16. Pogba quickly progressed through the ranks, first impressing under the under-18s and then swiftly moving upwards to the reserves. He first drew widespread attention as part of the Youth Cup side that achieved the club's unprecedented 10th success in 2011, playing in both legs of that year's final against Sheffield United. The following season, he was granted the first team debut under Sir Alex Ferguson in a 3-0 League Cup win away at Leeds United. I'm not going to read all of this, but basically it goes on to say, however, in 2016, he made an emotional decision to return to Old Trafford in a bid to continue that Narcissus United career and had began in that breakthrough season of 11-12 that had begun then. He was immediately instilled with the heart of Jose Mourinho's new look midfield. In his first campaign in M16 was a strong success. After a sublime second debut against Southampton, where he wowed the crowd with his all-round midfield mastery, Pogba started 2 cup finals that would both result in the Reds lifting silverware. It goes on and on and on, basically. Actually, quite longer than I thought, actually, to be fair. They've written quite a lot. When we go to the end, everyone at the club would like to congratulate Paul on his successful career and thank him for his contributions to Man United. We wish him all the best for the next steps on a remarkable journey. So make of that as you will. Mourinho called it, says Victor. Mourinho called it. And you think back to that. I mean, was Mourinho right? He called out Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba didn't like it. We didn't like it as fans. We sided with Paul Pogba. We did. But at the same time, Mourinho stated a lot of facts that we weren't really ready to hear then. To be honest with you, we really wasn't. And to be honest, this was always going to happen. I think that's the key to look at it. This was always going to happen. And Manchester United had to move on from Paul Pogba, you know. And if we're honest in ourselves, it's been a massive letdown. That's just it. It's as simple as that. It's been a huge letdown, and the clear out needs to continue. It does. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you lot are new. We're reacting to the news that Paul Pogba has left Manchester United. And what type of midfielder is Ten Hag going to go for next? How's he going to move forward? What's he going to be looking for? Is he going to be looking for someone as creative as Paul Pogba? Someone who has as much talent as Paul Pogba? Is he going to look for that, or is he going to look for workmanlike? Let's turn our attention to Frankie de Jong. Fabrizio Romano said Frankie de Jong doesn't see Manchester United as a prime destination if he has to leave Barcelona. Ten Hag hopes to convince him. That's a bit different. Like, I know people were saying leave him already. Like, stop going for him. He doesn't want to come. But when you hear it like that he knows he needs to leave and he still don't want to come, that changes it. That changes it for me, if I'm honest. You have to start looking elsewhere if that's true. That's quite damning. Where has Fabrizio said that? He said that with Jamie Jackson. I don't know if they've done something for the Telegraph again. But it's being reported that Frankie de Jong doesn't see Manchester United as a prime destination if he has to leave Barcelona. Ten Hag hopes to convince him. We also saw earlier on that Manchester United are now working on a fee for him. But I don't know, man. That's a bit. That's a bit. I don't know. I don't really see it. I don't really see it. It's a bit worrying to hear that, because, you know. Also, look, they're saying Erik ten Hag and John Murtough will hope the previously successful working relationship at Ajax can help persuade Frankie de Jong to sign for Man United should an agreement with Barcelona be reached. Frankie de Jong, who is reluctant to leave Barcelona does not view Man United as his prime destination should he have to depart. The lack of Champions League next season is a major stumbling block to convincing him. John Murtough and Man United's football director is leading negotiations for Frankie de Jong. And Duran Timber also considers Man United a club he would like to join. So we know the Timberler looks all right, but the Frankie de Jong situation is getting a little bit worrying now. I will admit that. Because if you deep it, there has to be a cut-off point. We were talking about yesterday of KG. I thought we was well away from that cut-off point, and I was like, look, there's no need to mass hysteria with what he said, that he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. That's fine. It does change if you get new information that, okay, he's now been told he has to leave Barcelona, but he still doesn't really want to come Man United under Ten Hag. There's only so long Ten Hag can keep convincing him. We can't magic up Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Ten Hag's got a lot of convincing to do. Frankie de Jong still don't want to come here. Lentuitis says, people are celebrating him leaving while happy to keep McTominay, someone who registered his first second half pass in 85th minute against Arsenal. I don't think that. I don't think that's entirely accurate there, Lentius. Sorry, I don't know if I pronounced that name right. I mean, because you're right. If people are doing that, then they're wrong. I think what it is that they say that McTominay's not good enough too, and he also needs to be replaced. But Pogba is part of a moving cog that needs to be moved out. We need to be moving on. So I don't think people are saying, oh yeah, good riddance to Pogba, but at least we've got McTominay. I think that's the wrong narrative. I think people would probably agree that we need better quality than McTominay too, and better quality than Fred. Hence why we're trying to get Frankie de Jong. Hence why we're linked with Kante. Hence why we're linked with Neves. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to get better quality in that position out of all of them. So yeah, I think that. But back to the Frankie de Jong situation, that is a little bit worrying. That is a little bit worrying because, you know, if he still don't want to come here after being told that he's surplus at Barca, what does it say for us? Do you know what I mean? That is, what does it say about us? And that for me is tough to take because you then have to move on. Do you know what I mean? You then have to move on. So there you have it, guys. Smash the like on the video, subscribe if you're new. Short, sharp and quick to the point. Wanted to discuss Paul Pogba's departure from Manchester United. Since 2016 he's come in. It's now the end. It's now time to move on. I think shortly there's got to be a Jesse Lingard announcement as well. He can get his farewell. I think the fact that he didn't get to play, he was clearly annoyed about that, but yeah, he's going to get his thing. Geordie says stop begging De Jong and move on. Yeah, I think De Jong is indirectly telling Barca not to sell him. GG Flex, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, Aaron Walker. Big up Flex, says Tony. Big up to you. And someone else said big up Flex as well. Victor, big up to you as well. So smash the like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and remember, links to the video in the video description below for our 100k subscriber party live. All of us going to be there in the flesh. Want to meet as many of you as possible, and our first birthday from Tucker Social in London's O2. So grab your tickets; they're still available in the link description below. And I'll see you guys again very, very soon, peeps. Take care. Peace.